Welcome to this very coaching session. If you're watching this video, you're at the right place at the right time. And my advice to you would be ensure you grab your writing material and stay to the very end. Participate with whatever activity that will be given to you so you get the very best out of this training. Today, we're discussing something very, very key, something very, very fascinating, how to build your financial house. And this is a very key topic that if you ask me, I would say the best time to teach anybody is when they are at a tender age so that you get to grow with it. The concept of having to build a financial house is very, very key. And what I'll tell you is this: if you're somebody that you're trying to cut corners, this is not for you. But if you're somebody that you are all in as regards to building something long term, then you're at the right place at the right time. Now, when I talk about building your financial house, I'm not talking about calling an architect, an engineer, buying blocks, buying cement, all those things. No, those ones are like the secondary and tertiary aspect when it comes to getting a house set. The genesis of this, the primary aspect of this is actually your mind. So your mind is where the journey starts. And if you're unable to get this right, whatever result you see currently or will soon become a reality is anchored on the primary. So if you can fix the primary, then secondary and tertiary will automatically take place. So that is why I keep saying you're at the right place at the right time. So we're going to go all in as regards to fixing the primary, which is your mind. You see, there are three layers, and we have categorized this layer to individuals to say, oh, this man is in the upper class. This man is in the middle class. This man is in the lower class. Now, I know there are a lot of shady ways to rise to the top, but I'm not here to discuss those ways. I'm talking about the legit ways somebody actually rises to the top, being the cream de la cream. So, with that in the context, whenever you hear the upper class, middle class, lower class, what I need to sink in is just understand that it's a mindset that has positioned this person at this level. And all they need to change is the mindset. And you ask, how are you so sure? I'm very sure because we have seen scenarios where the money from the upper class is handed over to the lower class. And the lower class individual loses the money within a short period of time, only to fall back into his normal state. So it's not a thing of the resources that you have, it is the mentality that you have that will either enable resources gravitate to you or repel resources from you. So the question is, what kind of mindset do you have? And it's not a thing of doing the whole blame game that quite a number of people do. No, it's about taking responsibility to say, okay, where I am is actually a mindset. So how can I improve on it? And the reason you're here is because you're somebody that you're intentional about improving on it. So I commend you. Please clap for yourself. It's not easy. So let's answer a very key question. Can I truly be wealthy? Can you be truly wealthy? All right. Pardon the BB. That's the graphical error. Let's make it sense. Can I be truly wealthy? Can you be truly wealthy? And this is not an aspire to Maguire session. So it's not a thing I say, go to the middle and shout, I will be wealthy. I will be wealthy. Shout it 1,000 times. No, that is not the session we're having today. I beg you. This is an honest session where you ask yourself, truly, Nkechi, will I be wealthy? Truly, Tunde, will I? Can I? Can I be wealthy? I hope at the end of this training, you're able to find the answer. But before then, let's make advancement because the truth of the matter is people can lie, but numbers will never lie. So let's start with trajectory of wealth. And the how I always say it is what you can define, you can modify, but what you cannot define is to overwhelm you. When I talk about wealth, I'm not just talking about money per se. No. Wealth is the abundance of systems and structures that will produce you the resources you need to live a healthy and better life. And there are 5 dimensions of wealth, which we've discussed in previous trainings: relationship, your mindset, your spirituality, your health, and then the money, right? So all of this combined together, that's holistic wealth. It's not anybody can be rich, right? A lot of people are rich today, not rich again, da. But once you attain wealth, it's difficult for you to come down from it. The first on your journey to wealth, it starts with knowledge, then value, some people call it power. And upon building that thing of value, automatically the wealth gravitates towards you. right? The right relationship gravitate towards you, the right resources gravitate towards you, the right mindset, like every single thing, you are attracting it like a magnet. The challenge is people don't understand this, so they want to pursue number three first. So in pursuing number three, they keep running and running and running and chasing it, chasing it, chasing it. It keeps running again and again and again. So they keep moving in a vicious cycle, unending cycle. We're here today because you want to follow the accurate route, which is knowledge. So I'm begging you once again, pay rapt attention. Let's look at data, right? Like I said, people can lie, but numbers will never lie. So this is a data that would show if there's hope for you and I. If there's hope for you and I, like I said, it's not an aspire to Maguire thing. So this is the wealth in Africa as of December 2023, using individuals living in each country, Source African Wealth Report 2024, Henleys and partners. So South Africa is grossing the top, right, with over 5 billionaires, 102 centimillionaires, and then we have 37,400 millionaires go South Africa. And then we have Egypt, we have Nigeria, Kenya, Morocco, Mauritius, Algeria, Ghana, Ethiopia, Namibia. But then we're in Nigeria, so let's talk about us. We have 8,200 millionaires, 23 centimillionaires, and 3 billionaires, right? Well, we're doing well. We're doing well. But when you look at the total population in our nation, you will now understand that we're not doing well. We're not doing well. So let's break down this data. So because if you look at it, we're over 230 million people, and you're saying only 8,200, right? It's not even up to 1 million people that have gotten. So calm down. We are in this together. Okay, we're in this. So let's do some math. Nigeria has 8,200 millionaires in dollars, not naira. Not naira, in dollars. So if you're making 1 million naira in like 1 million naira, 1 million naira is not $1 million. Please, I beg you. $1 million is actually equals to 1.6 billion, using 1,650 for a dollar as regards conversion, right? So that you understand, it's not a thing of having this conversation and saying, okay, 1 million naira. No, $1 million equals to, you're actually a billionaire. Actually a billionaire. So if we're to narrow down this number, you now understand that this is like 8,200 billionaires that we have in naira. In naira. Yeah, you can start from naira, you rise to dollar. It's small. Now, here's the thing. Our total population is 230 million plus in Nigeria, right? Increasing by the day. Dangerously increasing by the day. Now, this is the data that, is recorded. There's still data that is not recorded. If we're to do mathematics here and say, okay, 230 million citizens divided by 8,200 millionaires in dollars, we have 28,000 individuals approximately. What that means, looking at it carefully, is that it will now take me and you getting across to over 28,000 people to find 1 millionaire in dollars to be exposed to the wealthy mindset, right? That wealthy mindset that we can learn from. To God, we found one. Amen. So looking at this number, you're now like, is there hope for me? Well, we come back to this. Can you truly be wealthy? Can I truly be wealthy? Is it possible with all these numbers that are not in my favor? And I'm not going to answer yet. Stay with me, because when I want to give you the answer, I want it to be that you are settled with the fact that you believe that you can actually be wealthy. So here are 4 factors hindering us. 4 factors before we answer that question. Number 1 is location. Because you just saw that for the fact that you're in Nigeria, the drama with naira and dollar is not even to our favor. So being a Nigerian already is a disadvantage. And not just that, being an African is a disadvantage. And if you understand the global drama that is happening with BRICS being a new legal tender, not like new legal tender, but then trying to see how they can legitimize this in several nations, they just want to break the back of the dollar so that certain things will be stabilized. Why? Because of this factor called location. And we're not the only one feeling the heat. Other nations are also feeling the heat as well. So automatically, for the fact that you're in Nigeria, like other people are like 300 meters ahead of you and you're behind, about to start your race. So that is one factor hindering us. There are certain things that you're doing in Nigeria. If you were to be doing it outside Nigeria, you'll be super successful. It is what it is. So it's a factor. We're not going to downplay it. Factor number two is family. And when you talk about rising to the top, the family you come out from, it matters. But not to blame anybody. The family that you yourself, you even allow others to come out, right, from, it also matters. So everybody listening to me, you have a role to play to raise the bar for the next generation. And they keep raising it, raising it, raising it with the hope that some will not come and just destroy everything. Why am I saying this? You see, if we bring Dangote's son and say, hey, let's have a conversation, there are certain figures he begins to call. Is the same way we can easily call 5,000 naira, 10,000 naira, 100,000 naira, right? Just to him is not money, right? Because let me explain it so you understand. With ease, you can say 5,000 naira. You can do it with 5,000 naira, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000 naira. With ease, he can do away with 1 million, 5 million, 10 million. So there's a shift in level just by virtue of the family that you're bettered into. A lot of persons, quite a high percentage, right? The family we came out from, they were not at that frequency, they were at a lower frequency. Not everybody understood the game or the modalities of wealth creation. For some persons, it took them a while to get the hang of it. They had gone into like their 30s, their 40s, their 50s. While for some persons, at year one, they were unconsciously being exposed to wealth. Now, how can you beat such a person? I'm not talking about somebody in US. I'm talking about somebody in the same country as you. But the person's exposure started at a tender age, while yours started at a later age because of family. We can house this and say association. So you see factors hindering us, right? Number three is your age, right? Syncing it with what I just said. For the fact that somebody is, the question is this, at what age were you exposed to money? At what age were you exposed to wealth creation? Was it in your 30s? Some people actually, it was when they got married that they started understanding the dynamics. So you imagine how the mind has been so locked up and it's now taking an entire process to reorient this person to do a lot of unlearning, relearning, and then back and forth. It's age. There are certain things that you hit, you see, you reach a certain age, you cannot begin to imagine it. That's why if you look at the statistics of old people that have actually peaked to become millionaires in naira, millionaires in dollars, there are few. Because at that age, a lot of people have given up. So if you're young, listening to me, well, kudos. We have time, we have strength, but don't waste it. Because there are some people that their prayer is, God, give me time, give me strength. And even at that state, they're being careful, right? But this is a factor. That's why, see, the devil is very smart as regards to this. And that's why I begged at the beginning. I say, if your quest for wealth is to waste it, impress, oppress people, you're looking for a shortcut just to show off, this is not for you. But if it's for a genuine purpose, to be a blessing to other individuals, then this is for you. Because at a tender age, the devil will just try to swindle you, waste your time, waste your focus, and all of a sudden you're old. You're like, I have to be careful. I have to be careful. Anything can happen. Da, 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 da. So you just live a comfortable life and you gradually nosedive to your grave. Age. Age. And then we have education. Now, don't confuse education with having to go to school and gathering information. A lot of people have gone to school, but they're not educated. How we say it, you pass through school, but you don't let school pass through you. And that's why they graduate, they're like, okay, eh, what next? They're shocked, right? They're shocked. But if you had paid attention to the rudiments in school, you are supposed to know what to do next. So they were informed, but not educated. Now, highlighting the educational framework that we have in Nigeria, right? It is not geared towards making you the best version of yourself. I am sorry, but It is what it is. For you to advance in life, you need to understand that number one, education is an unending process. It's not a thing of I've graduated, it's over, next. No. The day John C. Maxwell will say, the day you stop learning, you start dying. So the idea with being educated is just like Solomon, you learn from everything. You keep evolving day by day, expanding your mind. Now, this is a factor that has hindered us because a lot of people have shut their doors to education. You tell somebody, okay, let's learn and understand this thing. They say, it will take time. They're not interested. They just want action, action, action. And they keep losing and losing and losing. There are some documents that as a nation, we're not supposed to have signed. Don't even want to go there. But because the people that were in that position were not even educated, they signed the thing. Right about now, the full nation is under arrest. But it is what it is. The joy of these factors is that you can flip them. With location, I'm not saying Japa because a lot of people don't even understand how to switch the location. So they Japa and they go and suffer somewhere. So I'm not saying Japa. I'm saying with location, find a way to position yourself in a global frame where the world comes to you. So you are no longer limited by location. I'm just giving you some things that these people, right, that are millionaires in dollars, they understand and they operate with. So find a way to be anywhere and you're still everywhere. Not just that, when it comes to family, find a way to consciously and unconsciously begin to expose those that are close to you because they influence you consciously or unconsciously as regards to the concept of wealth. When it comes to age, for your children, if you're old, you need to understand that the journey starts at a tender age. If they're not faithful at a tender age with what they have to build on it, then there's an error when you feel that, okay, when they get old, they'll figure it out. They will not figure it out. It's going to be somehow tedious, right? So give them that gift. And when it comes to education, how do you flip it? You understand that the key is unending learning. You keep learning, you keep improving, you keep learning, you keep improving, you keep stretching yourself, you keep stretching yourself. That's why Warren Buffett was asked, said, what is the greatest investment that, I know he's an investor, right? The godfather. And he was asked, what is the greatest investment that you have ever made? And he said the greatest investment was going to Dale Carnegie to learn public speaking, right? Dale Carnegie has his coaching institute and then personal development school. So he said that was the greatest investment, that what he has learned has helped him understand how to express himself, speak in public, and that investment is the greatest investment he has made, an investment in himself. He understood the education. And this education is so key because that is the ultimate way you grow. That's the ultimate way you grow. Let me break it down. Growth happens when you acquire information. When you gather this information and you work on it, it now becomes knowledge. Immediately the knowledge is exercised, you have grown. The knowledge ceases to be useful. I'll explain. A, B, C, D, that's information at the basic form. A is for apple, B is for ball. You now know how to draw these things and do all these things. Automatically, A, B, C, D is no longer useful to you. You have grown. What we're now looking at is a higher dimension, maybe into linguistics, paralinguistics, all those other things. Once you have attained that realm, the knowledge, once knowledge ceases to be useful, you have grown. You now need a higher information to go through the entire process to move to a higher level. So if you're at the point where you feel, oh, I'm stuck, you're not stuck per se. It's the fact that you're trying to do a different activity with previous knowledge. That is why in secondary school, you don't discuss A's for apple, B's for ball. They're expecting that you have already acquired that information, right? And you have maximized that knowledge. Dump it away. We need new information, new knowledge, new growth. This is what this group of people understand. And the saving grace that you and I have is using education to our advantage. So to answer the question, can I be truly wealthy? Can you be truly wealthy? The answer is yes, if and only if you are willing to grow using education as an anchor. So that would demystify your age, it will demystify your family, it will demystify your location. But if you ignore this process and you say you want to look for a shorter route, well, glory be to God. I don't know how you do it, but then I celebrate you in advance. However, you end up, I deserve my comments. But then if you're saying, I want to do this legit, it starts with education. Remember our topic, how do you build your financial house? So now you now understand that, okay, this is possible for me to do. And I am now open to learning, unlearning, relearning. And we said at the earlier beginning, your financial house is your mind. Your mind is your financial house. So let us dive into it. I'm taking my time to explain this. Do you know why? You see, if you spend 5 years, 5 years, I believe, 4 years in the university studying law, 1 year, you're in law school to solidify everything to come out as a lawyer. You are trained by, in your 4 years and your 5 years put together, you're trained by lawyers. Your focus is law, 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 law for 4 good years to show you why education is so key. For 4 good years, the entire focus is law, 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 law. You are living and breathing the legal system. And then you graduate, you become a lawyer. You want to study medicine, 7 good years, you're learning from doctors how to become a doctor, the dynamics of medicine and every single thing. And 7 years later, you're a doctor. An engineer, same thing. Architect, same thing. Psychologist, same thing. So when it comes to wealth, how have you positioned yourself to study wealth? When it comes to success, how have you positioned yourself to study success? The challenge is we have this wired notion that just one book will change our life. I understand. Now, here's the thing. One book, one event, one encounter would give you what I call the gift of awareness. This training will give you the gift of awareness. After this training, if you do nothing with it, full stop, that's it. So it gives you the gift of awareness. And that awareness is what will now take you to the trajectory of wealth, that you start knowledge, amassed specific knowledge to build that thing, and then it becomes the value business, wealth pursues you. The challenge is people just are trying to say, okay, let me look for that one thing, that one thing, that one thing. Is an accumulation of things. You don't just get a one dose and then you feel you're good. No. So how are you exposing yourself to events, relationship, mentors, coaches that will build you up consistently? Not you do it when you feel like it. No. Because when you're going to school, you're not going to school because you felt like going to school. You knew that this is the mundane. I must do this. It is the same thing with wealth. It's not a 2 weeks curriculum. No. Like if we were to highlight the millionaires in dollars, the billionaires in dollars, 30 millions in dollars, and the shoot, some of them will tell you, I've been at it for 50 years. Here, I've been at it for 30 years. Some will say 70 years. Some will say 60, 35, 20. And then here comes one Mr. Tunde saying, I want to do it in 2 weeks. I want to do it in 1 week. And if it doesn't work in 1 week, it's a scam. How? Mr. Tunde, you are the scam. Nkechi will come and say 3 months. If after 90 days, it doesn't work, it's a scam. Nkechi, I don't know who wrote that book for you, but there's a comma somewhere, right? So how do you build your financial house? Now that we have said all of this to get all of us at the right framework, I'm going to do some drawing here and we're going to learn together. So permit me, remember we said there are 3 layers to the financial house. There is the financial house that is for the lower class. There's the middle class, there's the upper class. So we're going to start with the lower class. Permit me draw here. Okay, change this. Okay. Okay, it's in the hang of it. Okay, it's in the hang of it. All right, so I just want to confirm that the color is on red. Okay, we're good. We're good. So this is the lower class. As a C, this is lower class. So with the lower class, money comes in through the door, right? Sometimes, so whether their job, their business, money comes in. When money comes in, income comes in here, it goes away through this window, right? As expenses. So immediately the money is coming in, is going out. 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 In a situation where they can't even meet up their expenses by what they are earning, they look for another way to bring money in through this window. So they seek a loan. They go and beg. I beg, please help me. Once salary comes in, I'll give it to you. And the challenge is once this money is coming in, it goes straight out of this window. That's the lower class. So this is how their mind is wired. Money is coming just for them to eat, to survive. And that is how you see the sad part is unconsciously they're indoctrinating their children to get used to this. So you see generations born generations being built in this sequence. It's not an attack from the village, right? Demons largely operate by magnifying the minds of the people they possess. So I want you to know that now, right? So it's just your mindset that you have set that the demon will sit on it and say, oh, fantastic, let's ride on this and make advancement. Now, this is the lower class. This is the lower class. And perhaps this is how you operate. The joy of it, like I said, is that you can decide to change everything. Just change your mindset. That's all, right? That's all. So we're going to move to the next class, which is the middle class. So you understand what these people are doing differently that separates them. With the middle class, money also comes in through this very door, be it through their business or their job, or cash flows in through the door. Now, once it comes in through the door, a part of it goes for their needs and a part goes for their wants. So this is needs and this is what they want. In a situation where they are unable to satisfy both their needs and their wants, they open up a pathway to secure debt, right? To secure debt to satisfy their needs and their wants. That's the middle class. Now, as we can tell, over time, you would see that the people that are likely to fall back to the lower class are the middle class because they're not that different from these individuals. With a wrong move, they can actually lose everything. You see, the challenge here is that because they have built an image for themselves, being as the middle class, they tend to want to ensure that they maintain it. Those at the lower class, they don't have anything. A man that is down fears no fall. So they have nothing to protect, right? They have nothing to protect. So as the money is coming in, settling, they just want to survive. They just want to survive. So they get loans and everything with the hope that the next time money comes, we'll settle this, settle that. So they keep living in that cycle. For the middle class, they're trying to just see how they can, package how we say it. Now, the wants and the needs shuffle in with basic necessities and then having to, look the part, that kind of thing. So if you're not careful, you might see somebody that is middle class, but because of how they have been able to touch everything up, you think they're in upper class, right? But at the end of the day, it is what you have upstairs that depletes all of this. So a high percent of the people in middle class, they don't think long term, they think short term, right? Only a few percent tend to want to stretch themselves and think long term. So this is like grade A of the middle class. They get debt, they still push it into their needs and their wants, and then they remain there. The grade 2, right, are the people that they now tend to be innovative and think long term. So what they do is that they open up a window so that money begins to go for investments. Money begins to go for investment. But then the challenge is because they don't understand the dynamics to investment. At any slightest instant, they can lose it because they will go and pick up their investment, liquidate it if it's not liquid, and then use it to settle either the debt or handle needs and wants. So they lack financial discipline. So as they know that the investment can set them apart, but they're not disciplined enough to see how exactly they can use it to build something sustainable for themselves. So I believe with this, you're beginning to gain clarity on this. So let's talk about the 5th level as regards to having to build a financial house for yourself. So I'm just going to clear all of this. So start afresh. Okay, beautiful. All right, so 5th level, we have the upper class, as you see. All right, the upper class. Now with the upper class, very creative, innovative individual, like I said, it's the mind that separates this individual. So immediately money comes in. A part of it goes into settling their needs, their wants, their investments, goes out here, right? And while doing this, they still have a portion that goes into assets. So they have assets that are settling, they have investment they are settling. And you might say, these people, it looks like their own case is different. They don't even take loan and all of that. You lie. All right, you lie there. So let's say this is want, let's say this is need. So as the money is coming in, maybe from their business, their jobs, it goes in needs, wants, investment, assets, right? Assets bringing money to you, needs and wants can serve as, liabilities at their level because they're taking money from you. Assets bringing money. Investment also can serve as an investment to bring in money. So they're very strategic, right? Because the investment will still go back long term to bring money into the store. Their assets and investment will function as cash flowing agents. So this is where they flip the coin. In as much as they can open up this window and say, hey, I need loan, right? How we call it debt. They get like a debt of 100 million naira, a debt of 1 billion. They are not getting the debt to facilitate their needs and their wants, unlike the other class of individuals. The debts that they get, they carry the resources there and use it to expand their asset portfolio and their investment portfolio so that the flow that comes into the door is strengthened. And that way they can easily pay for their loan. They don't take short-term loan, they take long-term loans that move into years and all of that. So heavy amounts, long term as regards to having to settle the loan. So with this in place, their primary focus is how do I grow my asset and my investment portfolio to a level that is super exceeds my active income. So the passive income tends to push the resources I need for me to be able to settle my wants, my needs, and live the kind of lifestyle that I want, luxurious lifestyle, right? There are other minor dynamics to this. I just had to zoom out and then showcase some important things that these people have when it comes to building their financial house. But like I said, it's a mindset. So if you're unable to see this category, what you don't know is greater than you. That's the honest truth. So if all that you have been exposed to is the lower class mentality of building a house, then you remain there, right? But if you're able to see more, that I can advance to higher level, I can do certain things, it is possible. These houses are not built in a day. They're not built in a month. They're not built in a year. They are built over an extended period of time. Because once this is built, this is what you pass to your next generation and the next generation, not the money. I'm saying this because we have seen generations that largely their focus was how do we transfer wealth. So wealth by that, they're talking about resources. So how do we carry the resources and hand over to the next of kin? They hand over to the next of kin, but because it does not have the mental framework as regards to how to build this thing the right way, he loses everything in a matter of years, for some in a matter of months. So the most important gift you can give to your next generation or the next generation is getting the mind right when it comes to building this. It might take you 20 years to build. It might take you 30 years to build, 50 years to build. But once it has been built, it is worth it. Because consciously or unconsciously, you see yourself reprogramming your children, your grandchildren in the right framework, and then they apply it. They begin to see the results. So why focus on having to change what is outside when the ultimate change that we can work on is what is inside? Let me clear all of this. All right, what's inside. So I believe with this, you have gained a little bit clarity as regards to how to build a financial house. It is a basic topic, but yet it is very, very instrumental for anybody that is very smart and forward thinking to focus on. All right. So if you have questions, well, feel free to ask your questions in the comment section. But here's what I'm going to end with. The day you stop learning, you start dying. So refuse to die while you are still alive. Refuse to die. Never stop learning. Never stop improving yourself. Never stop pushing yourself to expose yourself to more. Never stop growing, right? Never, ever stop growing. So I'm going to stop here. If you have questions, feel free to ask your questions and then I'll respond. If there's no question, the most important thing is that you fully participated in this entire process and you got something. If not everything, you got one thing that you're going to run with to understand that the journey is just starting and there is more to it. So it doesn't end here. There is more to it. And what I'll tell you about the mind is that the mind hates learning. The human brain, it hates to learn. It sees learning as work. And you ask, how do I know? Whatever the human mind wants to just get away with, right, as soon as possible, it transfers it into the subconscious and puts it on autopilot. That's why when you want to start a thing, it's difficult. But once you have started and you've gotten a hang of it, your mind is already on autopilot. The first time, classic example, the first time we're all in class, 1 plus 1, 2, 2 plus 2, 4, and we're doing all those things, it was difficult. But now, without me thinking about it, I just said 1 plus 1, 2, 2 plus 2 is 4. 2 times 2, 4, 2 times 4, 8. The entire multiplication, it was a fight. It was like tug of war. But now, because the mind, it was difficult for the mind to accept it because the mind saw it at work. So the mind had to grab the information, 1, 2, 3, put it in the subconscious, and then just put it on replay. So the mind does not necessarily need to work to bring out that information again. It is locked in already. So having to study, having to read, having to build yourself, it might look difficult, but just see that you are gathering these things and then put it in your subconscious. And when you need it, is there. This is the very reason why you see a lot of people, they'll tell you that I can go on and on speaking for hours and hours and hours on different topics. Why? They have subjugated the mind, right? To put that information in the autopilot state. So even without them they're always learning, but even without them having to be rigorous with the learning process, there's just a lot they can pull out of their mind and give to you, and you're blown away. But what you need to understand is that that is also a reality for you. Boys, start by, I can tell you for free, quite a number of persons will start this video. They will not get to this point. But you're here, right? You're here. So keep at it. Keep at it. Getting like going through this one time is not enough. Go again, 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 to a point that you yourself, you can sit somebody down and explain these things to the person. And that way you are able to be a blessing to that person, to open the person's eye to see, eyes to see. All right. So I'm just going to end here. I'll see you when I see you. God bless you.